Well, hey, Wastelanders. This is your friendly neighborhood voice on the dial, DJ Turk, keeping you company while the rads keep you glowing. Word on the wind is colder than the nuked icebox. Snow Burrow's heating up. And no, I don't mean the weather. Folks out there can't decide who's running the show. So, they're setting it the old-fashioned way, with bullets, bricks, and bad attitudes. If you're trekking up north, keep your head low and your eyes sharp. 1 minute you're sipping Brahmin milk in the diner, and next you're in the middle of a Civil War barbecue with your name on the guest list. So strap in, Wastelanders, because out here, the only thing colder than the snow is the welcome you're gonna get.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Turk. Welcome back to the Grouch Couch. Welcome back to Fallout Co-op Duo using Mythic. I am Turk, and I'm here, of course, with Jack, Lore by Night. Hello, buddy. How you doing?
I am all right, thank you. Excited to finally pick up this amazing campaign once more, and I hope everybody here is excited as we are, which you can try, but you're not going to, but I appreciate the enthusiasm all the same.
That's right. We're very excited. It's been about a month since the last episode, and we're back doing episode 2. And why is that? Because of you down there in the comment section, and all the awesome likes and love that we got on the first episode has brought us back for episode 2. I will say here at the top, we plan to try to at least do 3 episodes of this bad boy to have a nice little story for all of you guys to enjoy and to show off to you guys how you could play a co-op game in any system ever using the Mythic GME emulator with a friend, providing, of course, you and your friend get along well and your brains manage to work through this. And I wish you luck with that. But that's not on us. That's on you. Anyways, Jack, my friend, tell the people, if this is the first video they're watching, which hopefully it's not, go watch episode 1, but tell them where they can find you. What do you do? Hello.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, or whatever time zone it is wherever you're in the world. I am a lippy British git that is known for waffling about the world of darkness, primarily Vampire the Masquerade, a little bit of Wraith the Oblivion, Wealth the Apocalypse, and some other horror fun goodies along the way as well. I have done actual plays, I have done lore dives, I have done character creation guides, book reviews, and just general nature-based waffling rants, all of which you can find on the Lore by Night YouTube channel. You can also find me on Blue Sky and Instagram at Lore by Night VTM, where if you want to see more of the general nerdy shit that I get up to, you can go and follow me there, I suppose.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. The usual YouTube jibber-jabber, my friends. That's right. And make sure to use all the links down in descriptions, which of course there will be a link to our boy Jack down there in the description, and links to other various things that you guys could use and get to have to be able to support the show here, the Grouch Couch. Jack, so make sure you get over there and do that. Use our links, follow the things, you know how it is. Yes! And I want to check very quickly if there's any comments that we should check in on from the last episode before we get to our recap and what have you from the last episode. There's a couple few. I don't know if they really need it, but we're going to look at them anyway because you were so kindly to leave them comments. So I say we look at them. Try and stop.
I'm going to stop. That's fine. You can edit in later.
Yes, there we are. We have the Cloud Gen that says, I hope you do more Mythic games. We're here. We're doing the Mythic Duo. We're doing episode 2 right now. So thank you so much for commenting that. Not finished yet, but going to use this as a reference when I try to do GM-less duo stuff in the future. That's exactly what we like to hear, my friends. Thank you so much for saying that. Now, we have one from DJH47 who said, Alaska is actually exceptionally important in Fallout lore, being one of the main fronts in the Sino-American War. Anchorage is probably a primary nuclear target in both reality and Fallout for its strategic position. Alaska is very big and far north. Establishing the time of the year and latitude is going to determine if you have days or nights. The psychology of this is very much on people's minds. I mean, what do we think? Do we need established days or nights?
I wasn't going to try and focus too much as the legitimate lore here. I mean, we could have a look at the wiki and see what that says later on if we feel it's that important.
That's so funny. Goodness, would like to assume it's days. But then, hey, we're sleeping during the day if we sleep outside, so something definitely to discuss if and when we get to.
Sure.
Some other just very nice comments from you guys. They like the intro, they like the solo stuff, very good. Fallout fans eating good this year, right. Dropping a comment as I start the video. I'll drop another one soon as I finish it. Very good. Appreciate you guys. My friends, that's it for comments. Make sure to leave comments down below and ideas and suggestions because we're going to ask questions along the way. And if you want to get in feedback or even ideas or things that we could use in our story, make sure to drop a comment below and we will use it for the next episode. That being said, I feel like that's enough YouTube jibber jabber. Jack, what do you think? Did we miss anything?
No, I think that covers everything. So I think we should get started and remind everybody what the fuck happened. It will be a good reminder for us as well.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. You're not wrong.
Good.
Would you, my friend, like to start us off? Do you remember what happened last time? It's been 4 weeks. Do you remember?
Well, we were introduced to two interesting characters that couldn't be more different than each other if they had tried. We had my character, Hobo Solo, definitely not Hobo Solo, you do not want to call him that, who, to try and escape the dangerous tundra winds of Alaska, fell their way into a vault, the exact number of which I have completely forgotten. But that sort of feeds...
629.
629. Going through, there were some skeletons all over the place, and there was some really teeny tiny ass rooms that sort of made in question the sort of weird, wacky things that was going on down here, with as much novelty as one would expect from the Fallout setting. So either a lot or little, pick your poison. And as he's exploring, looking around, he found a Mr. Handyman, like stuffed away in a corner. We managed to get it working. Purely for the reason because there was a cupboard filled with food and resources that I desperately needed, because unlike robots, we are restrained to the mortal coil of needing to eat, sleep, and drink. And unfortunately, I needed to get this robot working so I can get in that because the door was worked. So no salvaging parts. Yet. So we awoken from dying electronic slumber, as it were, and got all the bits and food and pieces that I needed, and sort of found out a little bit along the way that this is some sort of like, the vault, that is, being some sort of like detention-esque prison sort of setting, like these kids that and other adults and other delinquents maybe that have been trained for like some sort of war effort and everything's really tight and enclosed, and you have these robots such as the Mr. Handyman, who's dressed as Alabaster, Turk's beautiful character, that was put in place to discipline those around that, and we can see how much Alabaster was involved with that, because I think one of the roles that we did that he was a more charismatic spoken one, so he didn't enforce his weapons too much, but he was sort of like a diplomacy sort of insert. We had a bit of explore around the vault a bit more. We went into the overseas quarter where I found a load of military fatigues, which is how we came up with the idea that maybe they were training them up for some sort of war. I think there was some hazmat suits as well, and a load of holotape recorders, and one of which had a tape in it, which we have yet to find out the contents of said holotape. And there was a 2-word prompt that you had rolled for that, and I've completely forgotten what that was. And that was the question from the previous thing, where hopefully we would have had at least one person in the comments come up with some ideas about what that may well be. But that doesn't matter, I suppose. We can just wing it and see what happens. But I think that covers everything other than the fact that, that was it. I had a look on one of the terminals and I had found out that Alabaster's master, for which Alabaster's like focused of wanting to go and find, had disappeared some 70 years ago, and my character chose not to tell them. For one reason or another, and I think we've went in the direction that there wasn't quite any trust there, or that like intentionally keeping the information from them for some sort of, I don't know, leverage or whatever. And I'd agreed to go and help Alabaster locate the master, whoever and whatever they may well be.
Yeah, very good. Very good recap. Yes. Found in Forgotten Chambers in Mr. Alabaster. He's a Mr. Handy. We decided designed for charm and etiquette, but there was a question like, were these robots antagonizing people and trying to get them? Because vaults are experiments, right? So he sat in decades of slumber, 70 years, very long time, and that his owner did leave the vault a long time ago, which is one of our driving quests here. And one of the things I was thinking about for the past 4 weeks, this is supposed to be some kind of, detention facility and stuff like that, but I think potentially this vault could have been full of only children and maybe an overseer, which would make a little bit more sense, being that it's been 70 years, because his owner at this point now could be a 70-year-old man. It will roll on that later. So where does our story return, then? Our story returns together, our two misfit characters, shining from different lights, completely different personalities, one a survivor, and one a naive, charismatic robot, now enter back into the wasteland filled with factions and hazards and secrets, while Alabaster King searches for his missing master. The survivor, as well, runs from his past, and already there are whispers of raiders and scavengers that scurr and stir. Beyond the vault doors, the hunt begins. So our story continues as the vault door rolls open, and our two characters step out into the sunlight? ? Because as stated, we are in Alaska. they step out into that's where we return.
That's a wonderful introduction to the scene. And before we decide on what time of the day it is, whether it's day or not, I suppose, a little bit of a mythic housekeeping, I think, is in order, because as we move on to a new scene, we've got to move the chaos vector down by 1, because we're starting on our starting place of 5, and if we are in control for the most part of the scene, I believe it goes down by 1, and if we lose control, it goes up by 1. So I believe it goes from 5-4,
Correct.
which will be useful when we're generating Oracle-based prompts with the main meat and potatoes of the Mythic GM emulator, which you shall soon see, I have no doubt. Such as now, as we probably decide what time of the day it is. Do we reckon it is day or night? I would like to think that it would be the latter part of the day, so like night or twilight. It might have been like twilight when we had gone in, or as I had gone in, but as we're stepping out, maybe it's like more of a nighttime, thinking about how much time we spent in there and how much time would have passed over.
Correct. And if we're in Alaska, I believe the question in the comments was, if we're in Alaska, it will stay day or night for long periods of time, depending on the time of year. So I guess that's here nor there. But it is a good question to ask. So what do you think? We say extremely likely, or just likely that it's daytime?
Yeah, let's go with likely. Let's do a little cheeky little mythic roll on that and see what happens.
And also, I want to say I appreciate you, because I always forget to mess with my chaos factor when I'm doing mythic stuff. I always forget. People who watch the channel know. Usually I just set my chaos factor to 8 and I just leave it there, because I like the extra random events a lot. That is that. But okay, likely daytime. Is it daytime?
Oh, I just hit roll as well.
Exceptional no. Meaning that?
So it's in the middle of the night. That's my envision of it. Not only is it not daytime, it's the complete opposite. So daytime, middle of the night. That's how I'm reading that anyway.
So I think that as we step out, I think that Alabaster's never seen outside of this vault before. He's so naive to everything. So I think as we step out, he's like, oh my, is this what the outside world is like? And as you came into the vaults, I remember there were like skeletons and stuff. And I think he's so naive to everything. He floats right over to the skeletons and he goes, hello, sir. Do you need help? He's like talking to the skeleton. Are you all right?
Bit baffled by this. Hobo is just exchanging looks between the eyes and one of the skulls, and he's just going to like yoink it off and put his fingers through it and just try and maneuver with the jaw. Say, no, mate, I'm fucking dead, innit? And then just toss the skull to the side.
Oh my! Is that the way people behave out here?
Certainly do if they're deceased. This is a skeleton. And he would use like a very over-the-top gesture towards the ground. This is a skeleton.
Skeletons are dead, sir. This is my first time seeing one, sir. This is new.
Okay, well, when people die, their flesh and whatnot just sort of decomposes, and this is what's remained. So kind of like a chassis for you, but made out of bone rather than bits of metal.
Duly noted, sir. I don't need to help skeleton. Well, where are we off to first, sir? I say we start at the nearest town. I would love to meet some people.
That's not a bad idea, funny enough, from you. Quick question out of character. How bad is the weather right now? Because if it's like a blustering storm, it would make sense for Hobo to suggest just to hunker down for the night and then go out when the weather is more tolerable.
Very good question. Is there something in the Fallout book that has, like a radiation storm chart or something like that maybe we could roll on?
The core book does have a radiation theme, but I can't remember if it has like any rollable factors. Winter of Atom has winter-related stuff in there. I don't know if you have that available for Foundry.
Oh, but I can see... I have the PDFs. Winter of Atom. Winter environment.
That sounds the sort of thing that we're looking for. And could it be used to determine how bad things are if we roll on Mythic and realise that the weather's really bad?
I think that's the easiest way to go. But I just wanted to double check to see if there was some kind of resource we could be using. But I think that's probably the best way to go.
Is there still a storm raging outside? Exceptional, yes. Well, fuck you, Mythic. Okay, so... if we're able to get that PDF back up and just see how many of the different effects that we can roll a dice representing that number and then go from there.
Winter wasteland. Adjusting winter environment. So we have flash freeze, snow covered, icy surfaces, blizzards, or rad-blizzard is a radiation. Wet soft snow, collapsed building. So there are 5.
Okay, so we could roll a d6 and see what happened. And if we roll a d6, and if we roll a 6, we choose 2 options.
Perfect.
Do you want to do the honors?
Sure. That's a 5.
Oh, which is the worst one, isn't it?
A rad-blizzard.
Oh, it's the worst one for me, I guess. So what are the exact effects of that?
Let me see. Okay, well, I'll just read the condition effects. So, at the start of a creature's turn, if they're without a shelter, they must make an endurance survival test with a difficulty of 1 through 3 determined by the severity of the radioactive ice storm. If the test fails, they gain 1 fatigue and are inflicted with 2 vicious radiation.
That's nasty. How far out of this? Because we'd said that the vault was sort of like in a cave, and I sort of like walked down into this cave, and then there was the vault proper,
which helps us a lot in this situation. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that would definitely constitute as some form of shelter, or is it like a teeny tiny cave and it's not going to help at all, and I have to go back into the vault until the storm passes over?
Size of cave. Is this cave large? Fake question. I'll call it likely. Yes, it's a large cave.
Okay, cool. Well, and we said that it was in the middle of the night. It makes me wonder how I would be able to work out what was going on. Like, maybe the night sky wasn't like black. Maybe there's like a tinge of green. Maybe.
That's a good question. So basically what you're saying is that there is this radiation blizzard going on. But do you know that?
Yeah.
So maybe,
is there an easy visible thing for me to notice at this time?
As we approach the edge of the cave, maybe you should make a skill check. I could also check.
That would be a good idea. What sort of skill check do you think would be appropriate for the scenario?
Perception survival?
If that's the one that it says, I shall do that. What was the difficulty rate? Well, I'd say that because it's like in the middle of the night, that would be like difficulty 3. That was the range, wasn't it? 1 to 3?
Yes, correct.
Okie dokie. I would like to, I think I should probably spend like a luck point or something just to give myself that extra d20, because I don't really want to walk into my death this early into the campaign. Is this an action point expenditure? Oh, yeah, I think this would be an action point expenditure rather than a luck point at this point. Although I could do both. No, I won't do both. I think it would make more sense narratively that I am lucky, so I will spend a luck point for that extra d20.
Cool, and I'm going to roll 2 because it might make sense for a Mr. Handy robot to be able to diagnose radiation, you know?
Could well be.
Jeez. Okay, well, you got 2 successes, and I only got 1.
Which I think together makes the 3, if we're going to do it like that. Or is it we're going to do this where one of us has to get the 3 successes?
I think it's 1 through 3. I think I could vote that we only needed the 2, and I think you being the experienced survivalist, this would be a teaching moment to Alabaster. Like, you see it and you stop him, like, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, we were just about to making our way up, and as I think I described a moment ago, that maybe there's like a slight tinge green in like the storm that's going on, so it's not like completely black, like the shade of green that I'm thinking, just to be really stereotypical about it, like the sort of like night viz green, but like really subdued and muted. So I see that you're sort of like floating ahead, and I'm just gonna like very instinctively like grab like the hinge of your eye stalk, and which might just like swing the robot out of orbit as it like floats round back a little bit. Not quite expecting that to happen. I sort of like let you go and do your thing. Like, shit, sorry, I didn't know that was going to happen. I can't go out in this. Like, there's a radiation blizzard going at about.
Sir, radiation blizzard, sir. The world, the weather is irradiated, sir.
Yeah, very much, and this is this is not pleasant. I'm sorry, we need to get back inside before start coughing up God knows what. And I'm gonna like quickly just walk backwards towards the vault just to get away from this, so there's like none of it like blows in or whatever.
Nice. And I think he questions, but I think he follows as well. And you might even hear like a little bit of like scanning him happening, like taking this in and learning it a little bit, so he knows what to look for next time, I think. And I think here in the cave, we could actually set up a campsite. And one of the fun things is that in the winter book, there's actually a building campsites page that just crossed. I want to see if this could do.
It makes sense.
Yeah, there is a campsite visitors roll chart, so maybe we could roll to see if someone might show up. Kind of fun. Campsites can be built in structures. Campsite tiers. Do we have any materials?
There would probably be something in the vault, like remaining of the jumpsuits. There's a load of hazmat suits I didn't pick up. I can't quite remember how many of the military fatigues that we found, because I remember there was a lot of clothing that we found with the rolls and things. So we could, if burn some of those up. There might be some wooden furniture that we can break apart to make a little fire with, for me at least. You won't exactly need any of that.
All right. So we can kind of just say that everything we might need we'll find probably in and out of the vault. And I think it might even be smart to not make camp in the vault, but out here so we can see when the storm clears and the sun rises.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay, well, before the sun rises, let's roll. If we get a 1 through 10, there's no visitor.
Okay.
You can roll a d20, see if someone might show up here trying to storm.
Okay, I'll roll the d20 and just see what happens. I'll just use the Fallout dice for this, as I've got the thing up, I guess, because there's another thing that popped up for some reason. Ignore the fact that it says survival. What kind of applies here? 14 was the number I got, which is my lucky number. So hopefully that brings me some good luck.
Heck yeah. Okay,
and you, of course.
Heck yeah. It says, a trader approaches the campsite looking for shelter and safety. They carry a handful of them and may be willing to trade the party something they need.
You know what? That makes quite a bit of sense. Someone unfortunate enough to be caught in the storm and like myself just sort of stumbles through. I don't know if them having a Brahm, just the two-headed cow things that you see, would be appropriate. Maybe there's a winter equivalent, I see. The thing is, I don't know what animals would usually be native to Alaska. I don't know if you would find yaks or bison. Surely there would be some bison there. He says, because I don't know if you lot have noticed, I'm not from the US of A. I'm British in it, so I'm just having to do a bit of a guesswork here. Let me know in the comments below just how outrageous I am.
I'm Googling. Moose, caribou, and Dall sheep. Native Alaskan animals, similar to cows, but large. Muskox.
Yeah. Let's give the guy some three-headed muskox or something. And if we have to fight one, we can just modify the Brahm stats in the core book. What would this thing look like?
It's pretty sick, actually.
Fur and... not a million miles off.
No, it's pretty sick, actually.
Yeah, what would the radiation of the Fallout world do to something like that?
Do you want to roll a descriptor word?
I think that would be a fantastic idea.
Heck yeah.
Descriptions. Oh, is that descriptions meaning? Or lazily.
These things are basically Brahmin with fur. Easily plain. What?
Well, to me, the muck seems quite chill about it. I chose descriptions rather than descriptors, so I can roll another one if you would like.
Yeah, you could even rock the monsters. Any one of those would probably good. Abilities, maybe, might explain.
There's a mutations one in miscellaneous that I think would work really nicely here.
Fuck yeah, let's do that.
Constrain.
What? Expose.
Constrain, expose. So I'm imagining it to be real gross about it, that maybe there's all covered in weeping sores sort of things, but perhaps it's a bit difficult to see through it's scraggy fur, and it would be you could only see it if you're standing right next to it, maybe.
Maybe.
Which I think... Sorry, go ahead.
The fur from its face has all been radiated and burned off, so its skin on its face is exposed. And you can see, because it has tusks and horns, right? So maybe they're all just do you ever see the side of Two-Face? You can see the inside of his mouth. Maybe it's kind of like that.
Because you get frostburn as well.
Yeah.
So maybe that's an element of this radiation blizzard, that it just peels away, just literally tears away at the faces of those who's caught up in it. And these, I don't know, whatever we're going to call them, rad bison, I guess, for until we come up with something better.
Get us a better name in the comments, friends. Better name for radiated muskox. They're Brahmin with fur. Furman.
Yeah, go go wild. And I guess with this traders, imagine he's covered up in so many different clothes and like robes and things. His face is covered up, maybe some goggles as well, just so that nothing gets peeled away in this blizzard. And he's sort of like, I imagine him just sort of like stumbling down with his ox and like cart or something behind him. And I suspect that for Hobo, this is quite a normal thing. Like, he sees the person come down. I imagine he goes for his pistol, but then he sees like the ox and the cart and whatever, and he just like still got his hand on his gun, but just like waiting to see what happens because things could turn pretty messy pretty quickly all the same. But I'm a bit curious to see what Alabaster thinks about this site.
Good point. He sees a person. It's probably like tending to the fire that we have in here, making sure that you're like, gonna stay warm as a robot. He's just like making sure that you're staying alive, because right now you're the alive person. He needs to take care of you. And so you touch your gun, and then I think he looks at you and he's like, "What is it, sir? No guns inside, sir." And he looks up and he sees the Furman and the trader, and he goes, "Hello! Welcome to our humble abode, our establishment, sir." And he just like floats right over to the guy, and he's like, "Would you like to come in, sir? I have tea, hot water boiling, sir. Hello, sir."
the trader is with everything round his mouth, and Hobo will just like, "Come in and take that off. We can't fucking hear you." Alabaster just get out his face a little bit.
Very good. He's like so naive to the dangers of everything. So just immediately welcoming them in. And I think we need some trader descriptions now.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Should we do a descriptor each?
Yeah, sure. I did appearance.
Okay. And I'm going to go
I got cute, frail. Cute and frail.
Cute and frail. Well, I'll go with was that both of the descriptors, or did you use any of the other character appearance? Gotcha. Okay. What would be a good one, I reckon? I'm going to go with personalities, because why the fuck not? Emotion, fair. So I'm getting quite a fairly neutral demeanor at the present. That this is sort of the stuff that he's kind of used to, or she, or they, whatever floats your goat. So maybe they're quite used just to people coming toward him. Maybe doesn't pay much mind to Alabaster just like trying to get in, start to unwind bound their face. What is are they male or female presenting?
Let us roll, my friend. And that's also really funny. Like, he's like floating around them and just being completely ignored. So maybe like this trader is used to Mr. Handy's and the way that they act.
Yeah.
But 50-50, lows will go male and highs will go female.
Okay.
So 84, so that would make it a female.
Indeed. And they take off the things around their face and covering and revealing, perhaps with a fair bit, that they're fairly fair-skinned. Unlike Hobo here, they can actually wash and look after themselves properly. Like probably wheels the vermin, as we're calling it for the moment, like into the side closer to the vault. Not quite too sure what her reaction would be. Probably like seeing that. You should clearly see that we're sitting in front of an open vault door. We've got this little fire out going on here. Hobo is probably like keeping an eye on her, but also just painfully aware about how irritating Alabaster is floating around these two here. And he's like, if this was anybody else, he'd just go and fucking slap the robot, but this would not work here. So
it's pretty good. That is pretty good. So there is something else. One last is usually looking for attitude. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that would definitely work out not only her intentions, but also just possibly how wound up she's being with the flying handyman round her.
But I think you did roll emotion, fair, relaxed.
Yeah.
Probably just like, hello, just looking to get out of the storm. Care to buy anything?
Sure. Sorry for him, a bit naive, I guess. What do you want? What do you want to trade? I think he's a bit thrown back. He perhaps wasn't expecting a woman or female presenting person to walk in, stereotypes and whatnot in the back of his head. Wasn't quite a bit caught off guard, and also with a flying robot. His emotions conflicted right now.
Right. Cool. So I'm wondering if we can get some kind of like item list, or maybe even some kind of something that they would be trading.
Well, what would make sense of the sort of things that they would have out here logically? Like clothes and weapons is a given, I would have assumed.
Maybe something to help us get through the radiation storm would be awesome if they're selling.
I mean, the hazmat suits from that I didn't bother picking up because at the time I didn't think I would need them. So I can always go back and pick one. But there's like a generic found items list that we can roll. It's a D20 thing, and then depending on what that appears, that would be the sort of things that this woman sells.
I think that's good. And I also seen some kind of roll chart in this Winter Wasteland book as well. I'm trying to re-find it.
Okay.
It's like a new items list for the
Yeah, that might help.
Winter Wasteland Scavenging is what I have. And it is a 2d20. It has fun. So why don't we roll on yours and on this one? We'll come up with 2 items.
Okay, I think we should do the roll each. So I'll grab a D20 and roll, and you can do your 2d20 roll.
I got a 23.
And I got 15. Which lands us with the result of chems, so drugs and the like.
And I landed on yum yum deviled eggs.
Okay.
Are you hungry? You shouldn't be hungry. You have so much stuff. That's like the worst thing on this roll chart. Let me share. Hold on. There's like 10mm pistols, heavy dog armor, hard hats, pull cues. Deviled eggs. It's literally the one thing. If you're playing the game and you come across that, you just throw it away. Like I don't even.
So yeah, a load of chems. So trying to work out what they would have on their person. So that's a 2d20 roll, which I will do just to give us an idea of the sort of tradesperson that they may well be. I can't see because a freaking notification popped up on that slot. 17, which gives us a result of diluted rad-X.
Okay, so they're not too much of a drug addict.
Nope. or they're just a real shady drug dealer, like trying to sell people the good shit, but in actual fact, not that we could know that by seeing it, or would I know this? I think if anybody would know anything sketchy, it would probably be Hobo. So is there like I think there could be like a role that I can see as I'm like investigating her wares, if I can try and see like the consistency, like the color of the fluid or whatever, to see if like if this is like knockoff diluted stuff.
There is a medicine check. Could do a medicine.
Yeah, I think that would work. Allow me just a moment to navigate back to the character sheet. I don't usually use TTs and Foundry, so it takes me a bit longer to get to those points. Medicine, which I don't have, so this will be an interesting thing. I will say, just because of our sketchiness, that it would make sense if this is like a difficulty of 1. Do you say that's fair?
Yeah, perfect.
Okie doke.
Nice. You got it. 1 success.
Okay, so awesome. So is exactly what we need. So I'm having a look through like this. What was it, like the eggs and ham thing that they apparently have got on their person? I've got no need for food, like all packed in, like looking through like these boxes or whatever, and just looking at the rad-X, and I'm like picking up one, having it all look around and like putting it back and saying, nah, I appreciate it, but we're all good here. Like, if you obviously stay here the night till the storm passes, I wouldn't expect you to go back out there because it's just a bit harsh.
Well, we might as well stay warm and be nice. And he's like shoving cups into your hands and like just some hot boiling water. It's not even tea, it's just hot water. He's just like pouring it in there. We must stay warm, sirs. Do well, do well. And he's like, and what might we say your name is, my fair lady? And we do have, I swear to crap, there was a name roll. Names.
Is
Ag. It's, you know, one of those things where you gotta take it and then interpret it, you know.
So I'm either getting Isabelle with a massive slur going on, or Agatha.
What about... Yeah, I think Isabelle's perfect. I think, yeah, we'll go with it. Isabelle.
All right.
Is my name. Just trying to survive out here. Got some rad-X that gets me through. I trade in it.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Sort of nods, being very quiet about the fact that it's all diluted stuff, the cheap shit.
Very good. So, is there anything else you think maybe we could explore in this scene?
No, I don't think so. I think Hobo will just be like sitting here, like mulling over the thing to do with the vault, like what he's implying from what he's seen in the vault, just how weird and cramped and unpleasant things must be, how friendly, borderline obnoxious Alabaster is, and just trying to think like he cannot be this naive. Like he is hiding something. There's something diabolical in that programming that he has yet to unveil. Kind of cautious of the trader, just because that's just the sort of person that he's been used to. Like cautious of everyone. There's stuff with his background that we haven't worked out yet. So I think he's just like on edge, like just keeping an eye on everything. Like big old robot man-child, I guess. And this trader who may or may not be a junkie.
Fair enough. All right. So that brings me to my next question. How long does this radiation storm stick around, I think, is to ask.
I think it would make sense if it's like a minimum an hour. We could roll on a D3 and like see what happens, or a D6 and see what we come up with.
Yeah. We could do a D4 for hours, but if we hit a 4, then we roll again. Like it explodes. You know what I mean? And we add it on.
Yeah, sure, that works too.
That's it. So 2 hours. It's not too
bad. Before we move on to the scene and we see that the storm is dying down, does our Isabelle friend, acquaintance, company, whatever, does she do anything during that time? Or is he just like hunkering down with her like weeping sort of vermin sort of thing, or is he just going to like sit there and just keep to herself?
Let's ask. Does she do anything interesting during that time? No.
Fair enough.
There it is. Okay, so I say we build out the next scene. I think after 2 hours, the storm passes. And I think it's still nighttime, but I think after the storm passes, Isabelle kind of probably nods. She doesn't seem too friendly. She didn't do anything extra or talk or anything like that, so she probably just goes on her merry way. We don't want what she has to offer. But definitely an acquaintance at this point. Actually is our first NPC, so we could add 2 threads let I think about it.
We could do, and as before we headed out into the storm, Alabaster was like asking, like going to like the nearest settlement. I think it will just, on the off chance that she's heading that way, Hobo will just go and ask, where are you headed? And then we can try and determine whether wherever she says is the closest settlement, or is like the next one on, or wherever.
Right.
Because if she's going to the same place that we will hopefully be going to, could tag along.
Okay, we've got her.
Awesome.
All right, so does she tell us where she's headed? And we could call it very likely. Yes. All right. Is she headed to a nearby city? Let's call it nearly certain.
It makes sense, like not wanting to go too far out.
That is a yes.
Awesome.
She tells us where she's... Does she tell us, I'm going to roll one more time, the directions? Or, well, does she go with us? Do we want to travel with her?
I mean, they will certainly make a bit of sense. Like, if we're going to the nearest settlement, and it just so happens that she's going that way as well, it would make sense to go together. We may not necessarily stay together. Once she arrives there, we just go our separate ways, but it would make sense to stick together.
So, do you think Hobo would ask to travel together?
I am going to do a roll for that. And I think that I'm going to go with 50-50, because there's a part where he would just like some human company, like so he can not pay 100% of his attention to Alabaster all the time. I can't pronounce your name properly. It's really annoying. That's a me thing. But there's also the chance where he might just feel a bit standoffish, that there's made like a small chance of this being a trap sort of thing, you know? So yeah. I will do with unsure, which is the 50-50 response thing. No. Okay. Oh, so he tells us where she's going, the name of which we can work out in a moment. It's like, all right, well, we're just going to sit back a little bit more, just so, well, we're not as well clothed as you are, you know, so don't let the frost bite you.
All right, so I think she turns back to you. Does she just give you direction?
Yeah.
No.
Fair enough.
She's like, okay, well, keep up. And I think she goes to her firman, is what I'm going to call it until we give it her name, and packs it up, puts on her mask and stuff, and then heads out the cave into the night. And Alabaster's excited. So we finally get to go out into the wasteland, sir. The radiation storm has stopped. Will we be following Mrs. Isabelle, sir?
Not just yet. You can't be too trusting with people out here. Who knows what little buddies or whatever are hiding around the corner. Didn't have a good enough look in a little cart. There could have been somebody hiding there. Just, you can't be too trusting of people out here. Just give her a few more minutes, just for her to gain a bit of distance, and then we'll head on out. Just so happens we're going to the same place.
She seems wonderful, sir. I say we trust her. But here's a better follow-up question. Does Hobo know this location already? Maybe that's why he doesn't need direction. You know what I mean? 50-50? Yes, he knows this location already.
The next question is, because I'm sure that would be like a follow-up question from Alabaster, like, what's this place like, sir? And I think we could use some descriptors with mythics to get like a general feel for the place before we head on out.
Cool. Element meaning locations. We'll do city. Civilization.
Oh, all right, you do city and I do civilization, and see what happens.
Cool. Small. Impressive.
Curious. Oh, I'll do another one then. Small, impressive, curious, simple, interesting.
Scary. Well, so impressive in
Why did
what
I
way?
get? its size, perhaps.
Well, it said small, so maybe it was built out of something, you know? Maybe it was built in...
Bunch of tree houses. Like a small... I know it seems like really stupid and over the top, but this is also Fallout. So maybe there's like a few little huts. I don't know, like an outpost sort of thing, or... I don't think everybody living up in trees would be totally feasible. But that's like the initial knee-jerk reaction that I got from it.
Right. You right away said tree houses. I wasn't thinking tree houses, but I'm down to go with tree houses. I was right away thinking, like, how would they build a small civilization to stay out of the cold weather, was my first thought. Tree house, very interesting. Maybe they're insulated tree houses. Maybe that's why they're impressive. Maybe they're like, I was like, maybe somehow they got military bunkers up into the trees. It's supposed to be simple.
Or maybe, like, yeah.
Maybe we keep it
well,
simple.
Maybe that... Exactly. See what you did there. Well, maybe it could be fort related in the sense like a bunker, because that would be fairly simple. It could be a small little. Well, it appears small because it's a bunker, and then there's more like space underground. So on the ground level, it seems small. Impressive though. You see, there are a lot of words here to choose from. I'm trying to come up with a simple yet impressive answer that is scary yet welcoming. Okay, Fallout related question. I think this could be. Depending on the fiction that you look at, this could be related to the Brotherhood of Steel, because they're either like the over-the-top American heroes, or they're just like this weird reclusive tech bros. So maybe that this individual is heading towards there to, like, I don't know, pick something up or something. Well, we could see if it's related to the Brotherhood of Steel, if you fancy.
Yeah, roll it. Hell yeah.
Okie doke. But the fact that she is going there, with her diluted Rad-X, I'm going to say that it is unlikely, but I would kind of think it's funny that you've got like this, perhaps an offshoot of the Brotherhood of Steel who are not on the right path, so to speak. That's an exceptional no. Okay.
So it's not the Brotherhood of Steel.
Nah, not this time.
So it's not military bunkers and it's not like cool metal things, and that's all right.
Nah, it is. Maybe it's the other end of thing. Maybe it's like some sort of tribal camp, perhaps. If it's not all tech-based, maybe people in burrows, holes in the ground, perhaps.
Yeah. And I was thinking
like
scary.
To roll that one?
Scary could simply just be their defenses. Could be like a bunch of spikes and barbed wire and crap, you know what I mean? But maybe when we approach, there's just a big old like neon sign that says welcome, you know? So it's scary but welcome.
Yeah, like perhaps they're like the remains of corpses, like impaled like a whole Vlad Tepes sort of thing, but the big old friendly sign says welcome.
Right. And that's very Fallout funny. Cool. So burrows in grounds, maybe side of a hill carved out and stuff, and maybe on the inside it kind of opens up, you know, could be fun. All right, exceptional, yes, cool. All right,
interesting.
So figured it out.
So it's what we've described, but what does the exceptional bit imply?
Oh, that's
maybe as we're walking ahead there, you're talking about the defenses. Maybe some of those defenses, like the people through the spikes, are fresh. Maybe when we go there, there is something happening there, like a settlement event, as it were, like the typical Bethesda. You walk into a town for some time for the first thing, and the plot device is happening as you're walking in, sort of thing.
Yeah, there's like a leader standing there, you know what I mean, like some kind of Minutemen leader-esque person, and they've got like a plasma rifle, and they're walking back and forth on like a stage out in front of these holes in the hills, and I think there's like 4 maybe like raiders or something, and they all have like, they're getting ready to hang them or something, and they're all standing on a stage, and they're given some kind of huge crazy speech about messing with this city. Classic Bethesda kind of thing. So it is very scary.
Because which of course we don't know all of that just yet, but I sort of give the general description that it's this, I'm going to call this Snow Burrows because it's like the name that just comes into mind. Like, Snow Burrows is not too far from here. It's a camp of tribe folk with some interesting defenses. From what I've heard, I haven't been there. Did we decide that he's been there? I don't think we did. I think we know about it, but Hobo hasn't been there per se.
Sure, yeah. Because this could be one of the situations where you've just been heading north to get away from your past.
It could be related to my character, which we could decide in a moment, but as part of the description, like, not the best place in the world, but if you want to go and have a poke around to the nearest town, that's not a bad bet, but I've got to warn you that from what I've heard, they're not a friendly bunch.
Tribal people, sir, sound wonderful, sir. We're going to make new friends. Maybe they would like some of my special tea. And he holds out a cup of hot water.
Oh, okay. Sure. Best behavior. Don't presume that everybody's going to be your friend. Just approach with caution. And I think as we begin to head out, I will just reduce some of my rations just to acknowledge that I've eaten in this time, so I remain full.
Good. And I think he's right away also going to say, maybe my owner, my creator, is a part of this tribe, sir. Do you think?
He thinks about how long time has passed and, like, there's a possibility that he might have made his way over there. And you know what? Anything's possible out here. So I wouldn't... There's a chance, no matter how small. There's always a chance.
Okay, is another thing here in the Winter of Adam book that talks about making travel interesting. Is this something we want to utilize, or do we want to just skip forward to being at the burrow?
You know, at the moment, I'm more interested in seeing what's happened in the burn. So for now, we could, like, skim through to the next scene, unless, of course, you want to do a mythic roll and see if anything of interest happens.
Smart. That's good.
Cool.
Is there any kind of complication? And since we really just kind of want to get there, we'll call it unlikely, but we'll roll it. It was almost a no. Okay, cool. Nothing interesting really happened.
All right, so we trudge on through the snow. I imagine something that Hobo finds a little unsettling about it is that he's very used to doing things by himself, so he's used to hearing, like, the sounds of the trudging through the snow. I imagine there's still a bit of a wind going on. And, like, probably behind him, there's just the little flamethrower jet thing coming out of Alabaster that's sort of, like, melting the snow behind and, like, creating a very clear fucking path
through the
about
snow.
where he's gone.
I didn't think about that at all. That's hilarious.
Completely ruining style, completely cramping his usual silent, like, solitude attitude, like, just sort of mumbling to himself, robot, why the fuck am I doing this? What the fuck? It's like that all the way through this journey.
So good. All right, so we arrive to Snow Burrows as this event is transpiring out front. And we've kind of described it all the way. Is there any questions you think we should ask to...
What is exactly the leader ranting about, so we get an idea about how corrupt or twisted or whatever this place is, whether this crime is just or not, but we can obviously work it out from whatever descriptors that we choose to roll.
Colorful macro.
Just going to go with the general actions thing.
That'll probably work better.
If in doubt, expose success. Okay, so the thing that comes to my mind here, the colourful macabre things, just to go back a little bit, like some of those live specimens on the pale, I'm thinking that this has been a revolt of some sort, that like a civil war has just undergone this place, and the person who's speaking is the new leader who's just about to give an execution to the previous leader.
All right. I think that's awesome. Yeah, that's very cool. I think there's a crowd of people out here. How many people are there out here? I'm rolling a D1. There are 65 other people. And I think Alabaster moves forward to the crowd and he goes, "Sir, look, exciting, sir. They're going to warm these people's necks, sir, out here in the cold." Yeah,
I don't think that's what they're going to be doing to their necks, mate. There's going to be quite a bit of death, and keep your voice down. Yeah. I don't think he knows exactly what to say to all this. It's just used to violence, but I think this is just a bit of an awkward situation for him, like, to sort of doing his best to keep back, but Alabaster's just wanting to integrate with everything, so he's got to keep his distance.
My full question here is, do you explain to Alabaster that this is violent?
I don't think he does. Just because he's feeling uncomfortable about it himself, and he's just cautious that something may untoward happen to the two of them if they're not careful.
Right. Because if you say, like, this is an escalation or a violence or something, he is designed to de-escalate situations, right? So he would immediately go right up to the stage and try and talk, and you know what I mean? But if you don't say that, he's probably just like, "Oh, I'm here in the crowd. This is wonderful, sir. Look at the show, sir. Exciting. A show."
Yeah, it's definitely a show. Let's just inside voices.
inside voice. But we're outside! Everybody in the crowd turns and looks at him a little bit, probably.
So sort of like adjusts his collar a little bit, just, well, again, all these different fucking emotions, like, I'm gonna die.
Very good, cool. So, do you want to roleplay out this NPC speech, or do you want me to give it a go?
How about we, like, if you could roll, like, some sort of descriptive things, and then I could sort of riff off that, I think that would be fun. Never done that before.
Okay. Irritatingly soft.
Oh, God. Oh, so this is a sinister motherfucker. Okay.
Seems that way.
Yeah.
My fellow people of Snow Burrows, for too long have we lived in the tyranny of this wretched maggot.
There's like little murmurings of the crowd, like, you know, they've probably got like spears and guns or whatever, like a mixture of like physical and melee weapons. Like some people are probably like in rope bind sort of thing, all ready for the impaling. Hobo is like looking around very clearly that something horrible is about to happen, which may or may not be encouraged by his new buddy.
And it's about high time that we do something about it, and for 2 long nights and 2 long days have we fought tirelessly over this swine.
And you can hear in the
Now
background. I love theatre.
Does our leader hear this? Does he get interrupted? Because I imagine with the irritatingly thing, he could hear that and just like bite back.
Yes, he hears him.
Okay, so I think with it just being a yes, he's going to notice the two, the robot and Hobo there. Does he recognize Hobo? To see if this like connects a little bit with anything to do with our backstory.
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Before I think at this point he might well say something, but I would like to do like a couple of mythic rolls just to see, to establish some sort of reaction and possibly relationship, I guess, with this leader. I'm going to go with conversations to see if that sparks anything. Oh, fuck. Combative, careful.
Competitive.
Oh, I didn't realise it was going... Yeah, okay, I didn't realise that. Okay, I'll just go for the first two that I saw, which is combative and careful. Probably careful because he sees the robot with a Mr. Handy, and I'm guessing from that our people here, despite being larger in number, don't have, like, freaking plasma rifles or anything, or flamethrowers. And also, the other three words, cautious, careful, anxious, they all kind of feed into each other as well, so I'm guessing that this leader didn't gain his position by being honourable.
Ah, it seems that we have some...
Maybe Hobo has dirt on this guy. Maybe he knows him from somewhere and he has dirt on him. So whenever he sees him, he's like, yeah, he gets anxious because, yeah.
Oh, that'll be good. Yeah, I don't think we're going to roll Mythic for that. I think that's going to be a little good thing. To that case, he's not going to say anything to address Hobo, but I imagine that their eyes click, sees the handyman, and I think
I love
the irritating...
Shh! I'm the one on the stage. I will the one that does the talking.
And he will like stamp his foot on the podium like a child, and Hobo will just lean to him and say, listen to what he says. And I imagine this leader like goes off in a like, I imagine like 5 or 10 minute rant, just going round in circles, talking about this and that, not really saying anything. And then eventually he goes,
now, corporal punishment.
And then there's a big old cheer from everybody around them. The guns are up in the air. Maybe some of them, in true American fashion, will like shoot up into the air, raising their spears up and about, you know, eagerly awaiting the execution of like several people. How many people are being executed, including the near to be deceased leader?
So again, we do a D4, and if we hit a 4, we roll it again.
Okay.
That's a 1.
Okay. All right, then in that case, I think it's just the leader just to set a message, you know, sort of thing. So yeah, I think at that point with all the chanting, there's like... I don't think there's like a mechanism that pulls and gets them to drop. I think like this leader person is like the edge of a platform, and this irritating leader is going to like give him a kick and like kicks him off of the platform and then just drops. And he's like begins to squirm like a fish out of water sort of thing as his neck begins to slowly lose the ability to pass through oxygen. I don't think it's like too high of a drop to cause it to break instantly. I think this is going to be a very intentional, slow and painful death.
What a finale. That was wonderful. Such good theatre. People of Snow Burrow really know how to put on a show.
You know what, I can't even fucking argue with that one. And I think at that point he just breathes because he's sort of worried that there was going to be a violent reaction from Alabaster, but at the same time he feels pretty worried, like, Okay, so back at the vault, he's used to seeing people getting hanged. Fuck, this got dark.
I don't know if that's. I think he doesn't understand that this is real. He just yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's from like Hobo's expected, because he doesn't fully understand what's going on. He doesn't know whether this is like a genuine, oh, this is a great show sort of thing because of what he thinks of him from the vault, or that he genuinely thinks this is all make-believe. Like, Either way, it's fucking frightening.
Right. Okay, this sinister new leader of Snow Burrow needs a name here. Yes. Renva.
Renvar sounds pretty good. Just by itself, I think.
Just by itself.
Renvar.
Okay, very good. Character list. Oh, I put Isabelle on the wrong list here. That's fine. Renva. Okay, we'll remember it. And then I think at this point everyone kind of disperses. I think they probably leave that guy there to hang for a while. And he's not a skeleton. So I think as everyone disperses and leaves, I think Alabaster goes up to him and he's like, "Sir, would you like some tea, sir?" And he's just like there. And he's like trying to give him some tea. "Very good show, sir."
But I don't think he walks up to him immediately. Like, he's trying to work out what the fuck he's done in life to deserve this. What's Renvar up to? Is he gone back inside like that camp thing? Or was he like watching Hobo? Because I think if we're establishing there's some dirt involved, like I think there might be like a level of this
So
word.
Does he stay to confront you or does he run away is the question. So
yeah, basically.
We can roll here. We could do 50-50, and if it's lows, he stays to confront. If it's highs, wow, that's a 99. Oh, he skedaddles as fast as hell. The hell out of there.
Yeah, so there's no subtlety with this at all. He doesn't blend with the crowd or anything. Like, I imagine at the moment that he literally runs, as you say. Like, Hobo probably notices as well. It's like, you haven't changed a fucking bit, you little scumbag. Right. And that's when he probably noticed like Alabaster going up with a little tea, like clinking it in his like now lifeless hand, probably blue, like with the lack of oxygen and swelling. Is like, sweet.
"Well, sir, he doesn't want any tea, sir. It seems he's taking a nap. Shall we enter into Snow Burrow, sir?"
I think that would be a great idea. Just let him with his nap, and with his beanie, he sort of like tips it a little bit, like one would do with like a proper hat, like to pay respect. Yeah, and whether he knows him or not is a different matter, but just the fact that he's like paying respect for the dead sort of thing, like trying to get inside. I imagine that this, well, actually, is Isabella here, or she like done her business and fucked off?
She probably fucked off. We'll call it very likely.
Yeah.
To 17. No, that's a 71, sorry. No, she hasn't fucked up. She's still here, probably waiting in line to get inside, I imagine.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be too hard to notice, like, vermin, cart, and, well, vermin.
Right.
So obviously they don't make much attention to her. I imagine Hobo's like half forgotten this woman already, just used to seeing just another trader in the wastelands, like just moving and bustling inside sort of thing. This small little community of like 50, what was it, like 50? Well, I imagine that 56, or was it 65?
65.
I think you said 65. Is that the whole community? It was like there was only like 65 people who came outside. I know that's a really granular question, but
it's supposed to be small, so it's not too crazy. I'm gonna call it likely that it was the whole. Yes.
All right, fair dues. So yeah, like everybody goes back inside. And there's general like civilization chitter chatter. People like swarm back out, and I imagine there's any kids amongst them just immediately go back to going playing or train hunting or whatever. Or
you say kids. I'm wondering if Alabaster sees the kids and reacts.
Yeah, as I said, kids, and you made that noise. I thought, oh god, what have I done?
Exceptional, yes. So I'm wondering if when he sees the kids, because as we established, he might think that, his creator is a kid, a child, right? So on this exceptional yes, I think he might scurry over to the little group of kids. How many kids?
Yeah, I think with the exception of yes, as you're saying, there's like, there's like zero hesitation, or like almost it's a part of his programming, like kids, boom, like and go off and, I don't know, do whatever it was that he was doing in the vault, as well as the idea of like he's trying to find someone that loosely resembles his sire.
Right.
Master,
his owner,
sorry.
Right. He like scurries right over. Maybe he pulls out like a little children's book out of his, wherever he keeps things, and is like waving it around, and he's like, Sir, would you like a story, sir? And he's like, just like zooming over to the kids, and you see him just zoom through this crowd to the children. And what I really kind of want to do now, finally, 2 episodes in, is I want to roll to see the name on her, because I think at this point he might say it out loud.
Yeah.
Please don't roll Rinvar. B-R. Barry? B-R? Barry?
Could be Barry, or with a Y or an I, make it a girl. Because I don't think we've actually decided on whether it was a... Well, you said it was Masters, so it could be... I presume from that it was a boy, but...
Right. But it's been 70 years, so who knows, right?
Yeah. Who knows, indeed.
It could also be like Bernard.
Bernard. Barry could just be a nickname, and the boy insisted that you should call me by that, and that was, like, hardwired in him.
Right. And so he rushes over, holding a book, yelling about Barry. Sir, Barry, is that you, sir? Barry, sir? And how do these kids react, Mr. Handy? Go ahead.
On a similar note, I'd also like to know what the adults do here, because I imagine there aren't that many robots here, and you've got one flying around with a book in front of these kids' faces. Depending on what the kids' reactions are, it may entice their parents or the adults to come here and start, like, giving Alabaster a hard time, like, interfering with business or whatever, or just being a nuisance. Then again, it may not. The kids may absolutely love the entertainment, but the parents are more suspicious.
Befriend, strength. So I think
that seems surprisingly wholesome.
I think a few of them are like, yeah, they're like, are super excited to hear a story, but with the word strength, I think some other ones have like sticks and stuff, and they're like hitting him with the sticks. But I think Alabaster uses his charisma to kind of calm them down and stop them from hitting him with sticks. And I kind of want to make a check on that. We'll do a speech.
I was going to say, to see if you can if they actually pay attention to him.
22, 4 successes. So he zooms over, screaming about Barry in front of all these people, just through this crowd of people as they're all trying to get inside. He stops the kids from throwing rocks and sticks, and then after a few seconds, he's reading a bedtime story to 8 children that are just sitting around him.
I think with Hobo, like, again, he was prepared for action. Like, I don't think his hand's on his gun at this point, just because, with other people that might seem a bit threatening, but he's ready to go into action, and he's like, wow. Like, literally dumbstruck by his ability just to quell these kids, like, who are all engaged with this story. Like, it's probably something really simple, like a proper nursery rhyme sort of thing. It's just, how the fuck did he do that?
Right. Now calm down, children. If you're all very good today, sirs, I will give you all candy. It's time for a story before we go inside, children. And he begins reading.
Yay, candy, yay!
1 fish, sir. 2 fish, sir. 3 fish, blue fish, sir. Cat in the Hat book. Right. Insanity. But I think he takes a look at each one of these kids, all 8 of them, and once he's done telling the story, he turns back to you and he's like, my owner's not here, sir.
No, probably not. You think he might have, walking over in the vicinity, maybe the kids are getting up and, like, leaving off as the entertainment's over, as it were. Maybe some are expecting a part 2, the sequel, as it were. So maybe we should have a look around a bit more, because a lot of you probably looked a little different. They're not wearing the same clothes or anything. Maybe there might be somebody here who could help us out about that. And he's trying really hard not to mention how much time has passed at the moment, because he's still unsure what that information's going to do.
Right. Right. So,
and I also think that
what I would like to do, so one of our final little things here, is I would like to get in line to enter this place. I imagine there's some kind of a guard as well that Rinvo has like put up, to get people and stuff, to search people before they go inside of Snow Burrows. And I want to know if we get in this line, probably been waiting, reading this book or whatever. I want to know if this guard recognizes you, or if you know this guard, or if we get any kind of hasslement from this guard that's letting everyone into the burrow. It's kind of what I want to know.
Yeah, that makes sense, yep.
Yeah. And also, could be another robot guard, could be a Syntron.
It could be, which I think would determine on the amount of shit that we may get, because I think if it's just a robot, it will just go through its programming and just letting people in. But humans are more fickle, judgmental creatures. So what do you think is more likely here? I personally would not think it's very likely that there's a sentry bot out here, just because of its size, and the kid just seems very amused by how the presence of a handyman here. So I would actually think that it's like very unlikely.
Sure. No.
Okay. And for the next thing, that would mean that it's a human. Now, would this individual know who I am? Because if it was connected to the older leader, they may not know anything about us, but if it's connected to the new one, they might do. So that might be the way that we're doing it. So I'll just say that this is a 50-50, because I can't think of any reason why it'd be anything different at the moment. Oh, yeah, this guy knows this. God, I'm getting all the fun ones today, aren't I?
There you are.
Do we know this guy's name? Was it just somebody that we've run into?
Do you know this guy's name?
No,
Exceptional, yes.
A whale of a time. Oh god! So not only do I know him and he knows me, but we've had like some sort of run in the past before.
I have no idea. I rolled for name descriptors as well. Anwa, and I don't know what.
Enwa. I think we're going with a theme here with the names here. Like, was it Renfar or Fenwa? Renfar and Anwar. Let's just go with it. I think that'd be quite funny. The sentiment just has like just nonsensical words.
Nice. Heck yeah. As we approach the front, I think Alabaster's excited to get inside. I don't think he even you're probably a little bit timid because you know this guy, and you can let us know if it was maybe a good run-in or a bad run-in, or it could be a friend. It might be good to have a friend in our story for once, but I think right away, we're just going to use charisma. He's just going to approach and say, "Hello, sir. I would like to get inside, sir. I'm in the search for someone." And kind of leave you to your own devices.
Yeah, sure.
We got one success. I think. So he just kind of like shakes the guy's hand and zooms into the burrow.
Yes, I'm doing a fate thing to see whether we've had some sort of positive or negative. High will be positive, which makes sense. No, okay, cool. Negative it is then. And Hobo will just sort of like shuffle on forward, hand in his coat pockets, not trying his best not to make eye contact, and goes, "Yeah, the robot's with me. Sup?"
It's very good. So I think one thing I do want to say is, were you doing a yes or no question, or were you doing highs, lows? Because in Mythic, high numbers are always no.
Oh, are they then? Well, I went for high for positive. So what was the actual number?
I didn't see what it was, but I know that this is no. And if you did a 50-50, then that means...
Okay. So that would mean that this is a positive reaction? Is that what you're saying here?
Yes. It was a positive event.
Okay.
You guys had to.
Awesome stuff. Okay, then rewind on the holotape, sort of shuffling on, hands in the pockets sort of thing. Not too sure he's going to meet. Is it? Yeah, sorry about that. It's the robots. Ah, Anwar.
I think he daps you up, dude. He holds out his hand. You know what I mean? Daps you up. He's like, "What up, Hobo?"
Yes, bruv.
Made it to the Snow Burrow. So what brings you around here?
Oh, there's a long fucking story. How far, by the way, is Alabaster in the camp? Because I imagine from what you were saying, how enthusiastic he's being, he's like well in the center of it already and just left me well alone.
This whole time I've imagined like a gate, and I think we go into the gate and then there's like a entrance into the burrows. And I think he just went into the darkness. You can't see him anymore.
Okay, fair enough. We can roll to see in a moment how good his hearing is, because I think he's going to completely forget about Alabaster as well, and he's just going to unload the last few hours of like finding this vault, the weird cramped spaces inside, the robot that didn't quite work out that what was going on was an actual execution and thought it was like some weird like amphitheater display. Like, he's just going to unload everything.
Wow. And then I think Anwar is going to come back at you as well and say, "Well, things ain't been so good around here either, man. Rinvar somehow got his little crew together and they killed our old leader. And, people around here, the burrows, it's drama. Really, we're just trying to survive around here. And we're all kind of nervous about what Rinvar had in store. But I tell you what, I got a new place, Hobo, here. It's a nice little hut I actually put together here in the burrows. You can come and stay with me for the night. We'll have some food and dinner. You mentioned you got a bunch of rations. What do you say? Trade in order. I'll trade you a place to sleep if you trade some food."
You know what? I can't argue that I could do with a decent night's sleep rather than sleeping in the middle of a cave with a robot that doesn't quite have a off button.
You know what Alabaster reminds me of now is Claptrap. That's what Alabaster reminds me of now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very funny. Okay, and then I think he shakes your hand, and he's like, 70 years, huh?
Yeah, he's looking around at every single fucking kid that he can find. He's like, I don't trust him with that information. Like, What if I tell him, right, that it's been 70 years? Like, what sort of damage is that going to do to his program? Because you see that he's packing, right? Like, what the fuck's he gonna do? Like, he's friendly with kids now, but I'm telling you, he's just like one accident away from like being like the next weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, you got to be careful, Mr. Handy, and you really, really do. Well, welcome to the Burrows. Anyway, I know our last adventure. We had that run-in with those things, and ended up doing that one thing with that mission, and it went pretty well. So it's good to see you again. And for now, let's go inside. And I think we're going to enter into the burrows. And when we come back next time, I think we're going to describe the burrows and stuff like that. I think is what we're going to do. We're going to get into that. But before we do, is there any other final threads maybe you should roll on before we...
No, I think that's all a great place to do it. Like, we can put down in like our story thread beats thing to find out what Renvar's deal is here, like what exactly that he did. And also the dirt that we may have on him as well, because I'm presuming that this is different from the actual revolution thing that's happened in the settlement, so maybe we could use that as a bit of a leverage in the future. I've got a great persuasion robot here that might be able to turn a little vice up on things if need be. But yeah, I think that could lead to some very interesting story beats that will branch off into a billion other side quests, I'm sure.
Hell yeah. I fucking agree. And I hope you guys in the comments agree as well. Let us know what you think of this episode today. And hey, if you want to see more episodes, make sure to leave a like. The more likes the series gets, the more episodes we'll do. And make sure, my friends, to check out Lore by Night. Links down in the description. Show them some love. You actually just did a full review of Modiphius's Fallout. It's a full video you guys can check out. Maybe I'll have that one linked down in the description for y'all to watch. And yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. We'll see you guys next time. Take a seat on the couch and roll initiative, my friends. At least for a little while. Roll on that, weirdos. Bye-bye.